was like, no.
Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to Night School. Every night here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel, we hold Night School, where we break down the most controversial topics, the most engaged debates, the most interesting subjects going on in the world today. And tonight is absolutely no different. I'm glad to be here with you all. I'm excited to be here with you all on a night where so much is happening in the world. Not all of it is good news. Most of it isn't. But I said, let me at least jump on and try and make the world a little bit better, a little more bearable by having some analysis, by having some conversations about it. So here we go. I see people reaching out saying that they hope I'm feeling better. Adrian, thank you for that. I am still under the weather, but I'm a lot less stuffy. I'm a lot less tired. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. Allison, I hope you didn't go to sleep, but if you did, I totally understand, man. Isaiah Hart, you said you got a question. Drop that question. By the way, if you have any questions for me, feel free to drop them as a super chat, super sticker, super thanks, whatever. I will answer it. Shout out to you, Jazz LP. Dallas is fine. It's always good to see you in the building. Same thing with you, Kenneth Baker. Decolonize Turtle Island. Oh man, y'all coming through with the positive, radical messages, anti-colonial messages. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it popping. Anyway, I'm excited. Thank y'all for the shout outs, man. D. Marie, I do feel better. Somebody asked about the Ian and Mark show. We got some new episodes coming. I think you may see a new one tomorrow. Do I have thoughts on Jay Electronica's new EPs? I do. I love all three of them. We'll talk about that. Maybe somebody has a Q&A we'll talk about. We also talked about it on Joe Budden podcast last week. You can always look that up. Also check them out. Check us out on Patreon. You can always check that out. But let's get to it, y'all. It's a lot of stuff going on. Have you seen him? Am I supposed to know what that means? I feel like I'm supposed to know what that means. But I feel bad that I don't. So maybe y'all can school me. Anyway, back to the lecture at hand. I'm gonna start off tonight with an update in Gaza. We're gonna go all over the map, but I wanted to start tonight in Gaza just with an update because I do think it's important for us to keep our eyes on what's happening in Palestine, specifically in the Gaza Strip right now, where there is a full-fledged genocide continuing to be prosecuted. And tonight, I just want to mention that Israel has killed 85 people. 85 more people in Gaza have been killed, despite calls from world leaders for a truce. This is not surprising to many of us who've been watching this since October 7th, and really for over a century now. But it's still important to constantly point out what is happening. And as of right now, recently we've seen 85 people killed, despite the calls for a truce. The UN General Assembly called for a ceasefire, or I should say world leaders called for a ceasefire at the UN General Assembly. Much to talk about there. We will talk about all of it. It's also important to give the background context. The background context is incredibly important. Since October 7th, 2023, at least 65,419 Palestinians have been killed. Another 167,160 have been wounded. We also know that thousands, if not tens of thousands, of Palestinians have been buried under the rubble, meaning that their lives are gone, but they haven't reached the official death toll yet. So that 65,000 could be 100,000. It could be 165,000. We don't know fully yet. What we do know is that the death and destruction is almost incalculable. What about the Israelis? Well, in comparison to those 65,000 Palestinians, maybe 165,000 Palestinians, we know for a fact that 1,139 Israelis were killed in the Hamas-led attack on October 7th, 2023. 200 were taken captive, and about 40 of those 200 remain in Gaza. So make of that what you want. All of it needs to be put on the public record. All of it needs to be taken seriously. But it would be dishonest and immoral and dangerous to suggest that this is a two-sided war rather than a genocide. What else? There's so much to cover here. I'm just going to say, in the last day, we've seen a strike also in the Nusrat refugee camp. At least 12 Palestinians, among them 7 women and 2 children, were killed in a strike on a stadium that was sheltering displaced families. This is par for the course. 12 Palestinians die, 9 of them women and children, all of them inside of what was designated as a shelter space. This is the problem. This is the problem. El Ahli Stadium, which again, a refugee, makeshift refugee camp or a makeshift site for refugees, was the site of another massacre. All this happened overnight. The day before, about 40 Palestinians were killed. We're seeing numbers like we've never, not only like we've never seen before, but like we continue to see. And it's stunning and it's dangerous and it's scary to ignore. Much more to be said about this. We can talk about it later, particularly if you have questions. Is U.S. trying to pass a bill or law to stop people from talking down on Israel? I mean, there are lots of bills and laws in the United States, particularly at the state level, that stop people from talking down on Israel. Also, the House and Senate adopted the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which effectively makes many critiques, and not all critiques of Israel, deemed to be anti-Semitic. Furthermore, potentially an act of moral transgression, certainly a site of censorship, or not censorship, but censuring, CENSUR, potential hate crime designation. All kinds of things happen when you make criticizing Israel a moral evil. Just another way to think about it. Ida BC Moss said, I wish I can debate Mark. I would beat him worse than Candace Owens. He a racist. Yes, I am black. Still think it's wrong. Ida BC, if you want to debate, drop your email in. You can debate me right now. Drop your email in. We can have a little debate. Jeremiah Muhammad, shout out to you. I appreciate your generous donation of 5 memberships. Hopefully y'all grabbed them things up. Plate of hummus. Thank you so much for your generous contribution donation as well, and your kind words. I appreciate it, my brother. I'm waiting for you out of BC. Right out of BC. Let's keep it going. There's another comment or another story that I want to cover. It's about one of America's biggest racists. All right. Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is once again facing a wave of racist vitriol. This time, it's from far-right activist Laura Loomer. In a post on X, which I'm not going to show y'all because I'm tired of. Anyway, Loomer reacted to a CNN clip of Jasmine Crockett criticizing a House resolution honoring conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Crockett had said that she was, quote, hurt that only 2 white representatives voted against the measure, pointing to Kirk's history of rhetoric targeting communities of color. Loomer responded by calling Crockett a ghetto black, bitch, who hates America, serving in Congress. The post, of course, quickly went viral. It drew backlash, but it also drew support from far-right people. Journalist Jamel Hill, our hero, our sister, clapped back, mocking Loomer's phrasing with sarcasm. When Loomer doubled down, writing, I meant every word, Hill replied, let's see if you can keep that same energy if you see the Congresswoman in person. Now, this is hardly the first time that Jasmine Crockett has been targeted. Remember last month, Blaze TV host Sarah Gonzalez was escorted out of a town hall after yelling, Jasmine, the people of Dallas deserve better than a fake ghetto hood rat. And Newsmax commentator Todd Starnes previously accused Crockett of cosplaying a gangster on CNN's State of the Union, Crockett stressed why she opposed honoring Charlie Kirk. She said, the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there specifically targeted people of color. It is unfortunate that even our colleagues cannot see how harmful his rhetoric was. Now, Jasmine Crockett, of course, is one of the new liberal voices in Congress, and she's become a frequent target for conservatives, underscoring the racialized attacks disproportionately aimed at women of color serving in public office. Black women in particular are targets here. But it's interesting when you read Loomer's ex-posts, she's just using all the stereotypes, all the tropes, all the slang, and to me it's borderline minstrelsy. And so I don't like it, I don't respect it. And I'm always struggling to figure out, what do you do when these right-wing racists say right-wing racist shit? Like, do we continue to make a platform for it and speak out against it, which only increases their views and the cliques and the kind of racism industrial complex that exists in this country? Or do you ignore it? I'm not sure I have the answer to that, but it's something to think about. Someone said Blaze TV still exists. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Sadly, it does. Let's get to another story because this one is just as fascinating to me. Tennessee State University is speaking out after an unauthorized group calling itself the Fearless Debaters showed up unannounced on the Nashville campus wearing MAGA hats and holding signs that read, "DEI should be illegal," and "Deport all illegals now." According to the Tennessean, the group set up what they described as a debate table to provoke confrontation. TSU officials confirmed the visitors were unaffiliated and had not received the required approval for demonstrations. Campus police and staff escorted them off of the property without incident. Now, in an official statement, TSU emphasized that students conducted themselves with professionalism and respect throughout the encounter, while reaffirming the safety of the university community and reaffirming that not only that it exists, but that it remains a high or the highest priority. Now, on social media, the group called TSU the first stop on its Fearless tour of HBCUs, citing inspiration, not just from Charlie Kirk, but from his ideals. Their stated aim was to challenge diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and immigration policies on campuses. So they were getting right to the policy agenda, even though they're perversely wrong. Students quickly mobilized in response, recording the group's presence, gathering near the table, and helping ensure their exit. Now, some group members later claimed their property had been interfered with, but the university denied those allegations and stressed that order was maintained throughout. The Nashville NAACP chapter condemned the event as a deliberate provocation, calling it less an act of free speech and more an effort to intimidate and destabilize an HBCU campus. Now, the episode of TSU highlights a growing trend: politically charged groups attempting to insert themselves into HBCU spaces as flashpoints in the national race over DEI, over immigration, over all that stuff. Now, TSU's enforcement of demonstration rules reflects the balancing act that universities face between free expression and campus safety. TSU's swift action and the solidarity shown by its student body suggests a framework for how HBCUs can guard their campuses against targeted disruption, and all of this while staying true to their values. All right, y'all, stay with me. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in literally 1 minute, and we're going to cover this final story, which I think is incredibly interesting, and it's, come on now.
Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Charlie Kirk's longtime pastor and Turning Point USA faith leader Rob McCoy is calling on MAGA podcaster Candace Owens to stop spreading conspiracy theories about the conservative activist killing at Utah Valley University last week. Kirk, 31, was fatally shot, as you all know, during a campus speaking event. And since then, Owens, a former TPUSA communications director, has promoted rumors that Kirk may have been targeted for his criticism of Israel's war in Gaza. McCoy said such speculation dishonors Kirk's memory, saying, quote, Charlie was a friend to Candace and never spoke poorly of her, though he disagreed with her. He never operated nor entertained gossip or innuendo. I only wish at this tragic time of mourning she would be the friend to Charlie that he was to her. He would never have treated Candace or her family in such a way had, God forbid, this tragedy been hers. Shortly after police named 22-year-old Tyler Robinson as the suspected shooter, Owens warned her followers on X to, quote, be very wary and suspicious of the people who are already telling us to stop asking questions. Now, on her podcast, she went even further, claiming that billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman threatened Kirk during a private meeting in the Hamptons. Threats were made, she alleged. Ackman, a vocal supporter of Israel, as we all know, flatly denied the accusation, saying in an X post, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, or anyone else associated with him. I was very impressed by him and his work and will sadly never see him again. Now, here, which gets even more interesting. Andrew Colvett, executive producer of The Charlie Kirk Show, also rejected Owens' claims, writing that Kirk himself had described Ackman as, quote, cordial, and the meeting as, quote, productive. While many conservatives distanced themselves from Owens' accusations, others criticized Israel's attempt to frame Kirk's death. Former Fox News co-host, or I keep saying co-host, Fox News host Tucker Carlson said that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's remarks were, quote, ghoulish and really repulsive. And he accused him of trying to hijack Charlie's memory for political ends. Anyway, Carlson added that although Kirk supported Israel as a state, which again, we don't have to do, he was, quote, appalled by what was happening in Gaza and believed that Netanyahu was exploiting U.S. power to wage these wars. Anyway, Owens, meanwhile, has doubled down despite the mounting backlash. Now, Candace Owens is already facing a defamation lawsuit in France over claims about First Lady Brigitte Macron. She now faces also, though, fresh scrutiny after Ackman accused her of slander. It remains unclear whether Ackman will pursue legal action, but McCoy's rare public rebuke signals deepening fractures in the MAGA media world and a frustration that comes from them losing one of their most prominent young leaders. It's a mess out here, and we ain't got to pretend it's not. Anyway, I just wanted to break that down for y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm exhausted, but I want to get them stories out. I have more breakdown for y'all tomorrow, but today I want to just let y'all know the concerns are eating each other. Candace and Charlie Kirk are at odds, even though he's in the grave. His family's stepping up. And Candace Owens has been at in a very interesting position for the last year or so, being so deeply critical of Israel. It's alienated her in certain ways from the rest of the right-wing movement. So we got to monitor all of that. Anyway, family, hit like, hit subscribe, and if you're so inclined, hit the join button where you become a monthly paid member. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.